Good morning, students. Today we will start our Indian economic chapter number 3, policies, privatization, liberalization, globalization of the economy. Reasons behind the introduction of the new economic policy, that is the economic reforms. Fiscal deficit, as we already seen in the monetary and fiscal concept in the upper macro chapter also. Fiscal deficit, the government expenditure was much more than its income. So, the government was compelled to borrow the money from the international organizations. Public debt became very high. A huge amount had to be paid as an interest every year. That is called fiscal deficit. These are the reasons to why the new economics policy forms or why it is required to the economic reforms. Second is the unfavorable balance of payment. It means BOP. Value of import become much more than the value of export. The foreign exchange reserve become very low. The country was finding it very difficult to meet the import expenditure. Because in the balance of payment, that is the last chapter from your textbook, macro part, balance of payment, balance of import and export criteria only. Gulf crisis. A large number of Indians are working in Gulf countries. The Iraq war affected them badly. Many of them returned to India, so the earning from Gulf countries declined sharply. Next, inflation. Prices of essential goods increased sharply. This affected the poor and salaries people, it means we can say middle class people, very badly. Living standard of people came down. Next, poor performance of the public sector industries. Many of the PSUs become sick units. Public units, it means PSUs, at least public sector units. Inefficiency and corruptions resulted in the downward of the public sector. Next, role of IMF and World Bank. India got loan of $7 billion from IMF and World Bank. They instructed India to introduce economic reforms. So, 1991 economic reforms, that is the two segregations, structural reforms, it means we are again prepare our structure for the economic purpose, and stabilizations measures. Structural, it means the privatization, liberalization and globalization. It means our policy were reformed with the trend of privatization, liberalization and globalization. Students, I hope you already seen in these words and you are already familiar, because that is the again the part of your BS terms also. Now for the privatization, again bifurcation of liberalization in the different way. How to relax the tax reforms, taxpayers reforms, trade policies, financial sectors, etc. We can say that is the another part of the liberalization. So we can see the one by one what is privatization, liberalization and globalization. The NAP can be classified into the two categories, that is the stabilizations measures and second is the structural reforms. Stabilization measures, they are short-term measures to increase the foreign exchange reserve and the control the inflation. And the other hand, the structural reforms, they are the long-term measures. Liberalization, privatization and globalization are structural reforms measures. What is liberalization? Liberalization refers to withdrawing all the control and restrictions imposed on the economic by the government. Liberalization of industrial sector. Reforms in the industrial sector, that is new industrial policy formed in the 1991. When we are talking about the liberalization in industrial sector, that is some reforms are getting. Abolition of industrial licensing. It has been abolished for almost all products except dangerous and the harmful goods like alcohol, cigarette, explosive, etc. Licensing is also not needed for the increasing production capacity. De-reservation of production area. The goods which were earlier reserved for the small sector have now been opened for the large scale units also. Third, freedom to import capital goods. All the restrictions on the import of machines, tools and equipment have been removed. Withdrawal of price restrictions. The practice of the government fixing the price of necessary goods was stopped. Market is given freedom to decide the price. Liberalization in the financial sector. The role of RBI has been changed from that of all regulator to a facilitator. Bank and the other financial institutions are given freedom to take the independent decision. Permissions was given to start private banks. Foreign direct investment in the banking sector is increased to 50%. Banks are given freedom to set up new branches without the permissions of RBI. Foreign institutions, investors such as merchant bankers, mutual funds and pensions funds are allowed to invest in India. Just like HDFC Life Insurance, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance, these are the tie-up of the example of this foreign industry. ICICI is the Indian brand and the Prudential Life Insurance is a foreign brand. So that is a merge of these two branches and it becomes the foreign industrial investors come in India. Now next reform is tax reform. Tax reforms under this, first, income tax rates have been reduced. This was done to discourage the tax evasion. Second, corporation tax has also been reduced, encourage the investment. Third, goods or service tax GST was introduced to replace a large number of indirect taxes. Next, tax structure has been made very simple. Next, foreign exchange reforms. Foreign exchange reforms, under these first, rupee had been devalued. It was done to encourage the exports and discourage the imports. India changed from fixed exchange rate system to flexible exchange system. Market forces are allowed to determine the exchange rate. Trade and investment policy reforms. Trade and investment policy reforms, under these, first, import licensing has been abolished except for the dangerous and the harmful goods. Import and export quotas have been abolished. Customs duties were reduced. Exports duty have been abolished for most of the goods. Bilateral trade. Bilateral, it means both the sides. We need the two sides of this trade. Every trade having the two sides, but that is the bilateral trade. It means agreement is between two countries. They give the most favored nation status to each other. They frame the rules and regulations and trade based on those rules. Multilateral trade. Multilateral trade agreement is an agreement between several countries. See in this picture also, many hands are there. All the members have most favored nation status. Countries trade with each other as per the rules in the general agreement. Tariff barriers. Tariff, it means one type of tax only. Custom duties can be used as a trade barrier. Heavy import duty can discourage the import, and heavy export duty can reduce the exports. Countries use the tariff barriers to protect the domestic producers and domestic consumers. Non-tariff barriers, they also called quantitative restrictions. It means the countries impose the import quota and export quota. A quota refers to the maximum quantity that can be imported or exported. Quotas discourage the import and export. Next topic is the privatization. That is the my business, personal business, entrepreneur, small entrepreneur, that all type of business calling the privatization. Privatization refers to disinvestment in the public sector. The government decided to sell the shares of public sector to the private industrial. The aim was to improve the efficiency of the industrial sector. Reasons for privatization. Many of the public sectors become sick units. They become a social burden. Industrial efficiency and productivity become the low. The government wanted to raise the money for social welfare programs. Corruption became widespread in the public sector. People were not able to get good quality goods and services. Two different methods of privatizations are strategic sales and minority sales. In the form of the strategic sales refers to the sale of 51% or more of the shares of public sector undertaking to private sector. Ownership and management of the company will pass on the private sector. Now minority sale, it means minority sales refers to the sale of less than 49% of the shares of public sector units to the private sector. Ownership and management will remain with the government. Merit of privatization. Efficiency and productivity of industrial sector improved. The government could get enough money for social welfare programs. Industrial development became the faster. The private enterprises earn profit and reinvest the profits. Consumers are able to get good quality goods or services also. Demerit of privatization. It is against the national goal of socialism. It will take the country close to capitalism. Private producers are aimed at maximization of profit. They will not give importance to socially desirable goods and services. Workers will be exploited. Their life will become very difficult. That's all for today. Tomorrow we will see what is globalization and other factor of the globalization. Thank you. Have a nice day.